Welcome back to Rabid Noise on Rabbit Radio. Joining me on the program now is Nathan J. Biggs from Sonic Syndicate. Thanks for joining us tonight, man.
No problem, dude. Absolutely awesome. Great to speak to you guys there.
Yeah, it's great to have you on the show, man. Well, you're about to release your new self-titled album in 4 years, which is a long time between drinks, and I know a lot of people are hanging for it, including myself. So why so long to bring out another album?
4 years, when you say it out loud like that. That's pretty scary, yeah. But, well, basically, I don't know, bands are living, breathing things. Bits break down, pieces get replaced, depending on who you are. But, this album's been a long time coming, and, we kind of just needed a break. Big thing on the table with John and Karen, like having, kids and spending time with their family and making sure that they were in a comfortable position there to kind of, get back at it and get back at with the music, and, thank fuck they are. And, it also felt good this time. We weren't rushing an album, or there wasn't any huge deadline on us. We were very specific, we're going to have a break. We kind of, just wrote the album in our own time, and that was a completely new experience for Sonic Syndicate from the start. I mean, it's always been tour album, and so we took a big chunk of time out, and I think the songs are developed in a different way, but better or worse, I don't know. It was a great experience, but we're so stoked to be back with this album.
Well, everyone I know is stoked that you're back with the new album too. People love you down here too in Australia, so
we've got to come to Australia. It's absolutely killing me.
I know, right? I know.
We were just talking about, let's do Soundwave Festival or something. So, listeners out there, you want Sonic to come, and get on the bloody forum for Soundwave Festival and start pestering them for Sonic Syndicate, yeah?
That's a damn good idea, because I think you guys would go down really well on that festival. I mean, you haven't personally been down here yourself, have you?
No, unfortunately not. It's another world over there. Well, I'm focusing on the colder Nordic countries for some reason.
Well, man, it's first time for everything. I reckon, not too far off, especially with this album. It's really strong. And, do you think over that year, taking that year to write and take your time with it, do you think that had a really positive effect on the songs in the end?
I mean, I think so. I think another reason why the album's kind of turned out the way it has is, although we needed to take a break, it doesn't necessarily mean that we wanted to, if that sounds right. Mainly, the reason behind that is that we fucking love touring, We love writing songs, and we love touring and being on the road and everything. So I think maybe the album seems the way it does is because we were off for like a good couple of years. Or the last tour was 2011. So this kind of the energy that we're used to releasing, like on tour, this catharsis that goes out, it wasn't. And, it was kind of like this frustration, this kind of turns into anger and stuff. It kind of like builds up inside you. And as annoying as that is, it's great fucking fodder to, write a really energetic, angry record.
So when was the last show that you played?
Last show, I think, was Summer Breeze, towards the end of 2011.
So you're hanging
Summer,
to play,
yeah.
Right?
I am. We've got our set list sorted, that we're going to go out on tour with now. The first show is July the 11th in Germany, I think, and, we're pretty soon I'm flying over to Sweden, and we're going to do some serious practicing and hanging out and stuff, and now, yeah, I'm just, itching. I'm totally one of these weird frontman adrenaline types that just get off on being on stage.
No, I'm exactly the same. I know what it's like.
It's weird, isn't it? It's a total addiction. I mean, whatever you're saying, alcohol, drugs, whatever people do, I don't think anything matches it, to be honest.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
That's right. That's exactly right. And I get cranky when I don't jam. I could imagine it on your level would just be a million times worse. But at least you're going to be getting out there and smashing it.
Don't piss me off, man.
That's it. Well, The album, is really great. I've spun it a couple of times here. And what's your favorite track personally? Is there one that you're particularly proud of?
I really like this track called "See What I See." It's got kind of like this weird death metal feel to it, which is something new for Sonic as well. I'm not talking melodic death metal. I mean, it's got a big melodic chorus, but it's kind of straight out the gate, old school death metal in elements of that. That's a great one for me. Another really kind of one that resonates with me is a song called Unbreakable, and it's probably the only kind of really chilled out song on the album. But it's still pretty powerful, but it's the only chilled out song on the album. But that kind of resonates with me because it's about a very important friend of the family who actually died from cancer. So I'm kind of talking about real stuff there. So that one's going to stick with me for the rest of my life. But it depends what you're into. There's a lot of balls on this album.
Yeah, there is. And how much on the tour will you be playing? Will it be a mix of your old stuff as well as the new stuff, or is it you're just focusing all on the self-titled?
Yeah, I mean, to the discography, we've got quite a few albums behind us now, and people want to hear, a few songs of each kind of thing when we go out on a headline tour, and we've just been kind of talking about the set and writing it up. We've got a few from each album on there, and by that time, that's 14 songs. It's like, a headline show or something. When we're heading out now, the first few shows, I think we're going to play Before You Finally Break and probably Black Hole Halo, the first kind of teaser song that we played, just to kind of whet people's appetite. And then when it comes to the longer headline tour we're doing in October, let's see what happens. We might play a few more. I want to kind of surprise people. We're going to play some ones that perhaps they don't expect us to play from some of the older albums as well. So that'll be interesting.
That sounds really cool. Well, the track Before You Finally Break features Bjorn Speed Strid from Soilwork. How did that come about?
Bjorn the Bear. He's awesome, yeah. He's been a good friend of the band for a long time, and funny story, I actually knew Bjorn before I met Sonic Syndicate, which is very strange. And we met at a gig in the UK back in 2005 or something.
Oh, wow.
And we kind of kept in touch a little bit since then. And then when I came into Sonic, in Sweden, we met up a few more times, and so he's a great friend. But the reason we wanted him on the album at the end of the day was I feel this album has got some great roots in the original Swedish sound, the melodic death metal genre, whatever you want to call it. There's some big homage to, kicking it old school in this album. And Soilwork were one of the bands that really, broke that scene, so to speak. And on top of that, he is one of my favorite vocalists in the whole fucking world. So when it came to the point that, we want to get a guest star on this album for this song in particular, and it was just a straight away, we knew who we wanted, and he was gracious enough to accept.
Was it done? Did he come to the studio, or was it done recording somewhere else?
Well, obviously you can see he came for the video, because
yes,
that would have been a hell of a lot of CGI there too. He's a big guy. Big green screen. No. But for recording the vocals, he did it in Canada while he was there. That's where he's living a big part of the year, so we couldn't get him over for the actual time for the studio, but he recorded it from a studio he's got there in Canada, but we kind of Skyped it out.
That's awesome, man. Definitely a strong track on the album. Their video is really cool too, so it's not every day, you get two awesome frontmen in the one video clip.
Well, that's kind of what I wanted to do. I was kind of going to try to pick my words carefully here. It sounds a bit weird. Satisfying the inner child in me. Let me explain. I'm going to go into a bit more detail there before the phone start ringing. When I was a kid, it's just like I used to love it so bloody much when, these bands like Corey Taylor would feature on Soulfly's Jump the Fuck Up or something. That was just massive for me. or Maynard from Pool when he featured on the Passenger by Deftones and stuff. And these moments in my childhood really stood out to me. And then, as I became a singer in my life, I was just like, I would love to do something like that for whatever our generation of, metal kids. And, Soulwork and Sonic Syndicate, we share probably a big overlapping fan base, bands that like both of us. So, I just thought that this would be the perfect opportunity to be able to do something like that for us and for the fans. I think it's just so cool and awesome that, we can do stuff like that. And I wish other bands did more of it.
I agree with you there, because, it sounds like we come from the same sort of generation, and there was a time there where bands were, guesting on each other's albums more and everything like that. Like you mentioned Corey Taylor and, Chino used to do a bunch as well. I think it's, I think it's a good idea, I think it's something that should definitely come back into metal, especially if some of the bands are slightly different. It does, introduce their fans to this band and that band. And
I think back in the day, I'm not saying that bands aren't friends and stuff these days, because of course they are, but I think there was like a real brotherhood back at that kind of time, in the whatever new wave of British heavy metal or new metal phase. There was like a big kind of brotherhood, and a bunch of these bands on tour and stuff, and having these crazy ideas and things. And he's a great friend of ours, and we're just like, let's figure out what festivals we're playing together. We can't wait to bring him out on stage for this and stuff. So yeah, there's just he's a great friend of the band, and I think that's perhaps there's something behind it, the brotherhood.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. That's awesome. So what's next for Sonic Syndicate?
Literally in a week, I'm heading over to Sweden to we're gonna start planning our stage show a bit more, and really practicing out the songs together. In Helsinki at the moment. Then we got a few festivals, some in Sweden, some in Germany. I think we're going to Prague as well. Then we're going to start the headline tour, which is called the Diabolical Tour of Art, named after one of the songs on the album, Diabolical Work of Art. So yeah, getting ready to put all systems go and get back out there and satisfy this urge that keeps creeping up my back.
Yeah, the old performing monster.
Tour monkey.
Yeah, that's it, the one. Yeah. Oh well, yeah, man, just go out there and rip it up. Do what you do best, brother.
It's the plan.
Awesome, man. Well, we're going to go to the track before you finally break now from your latest album. Thanks so much for hanging with us tonight, Nathan, and I wish you the best of luck with the release of the album, and we will hopefully see you guys soon.
Hopefully, definitely. Let's make it happen, and definitely let's get in touch and get me down to Rabid Noise when we're in Oz. Have a good day, guys. Enjoy.
Yeah.